open the house for question and answer.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. So sorry, I thought he was going to say something. Okay, it's open forum time. So there will be people approaching you so that you don't pass the mic awkwardly. Who will choose?
So anybody can come to the mic.
Hi, I'm Irene Perez from Inquirer. Hi, Dexter. My question is for you. Any changes with the rerun? Any particular things that you found in the first run that you have the chance to do again now? What are those?
Of course, in terms of the material, I think one of the most important things and one of the most, actually the strength of the production is actually the material and making it really relevant. And now we're given a chance to perform it again. I think most of the issues is making it really conscious so that it's still relevant. And as you can see, we're talking about given the chance to do it again, it's alive. And the scene that you just saw is actually just been rewritten a week ago. So I think that's how exciting it is. And again, after the elections, we don't know. So I'm sure we'll infuse more issues and more things that would be relevant and would, make the material grow. I think in terms of answers, Sir Floyd can answer more of that.
We warned the cast during the first reading that because of the urgency of the material and the time in which it's being performed, please expect major rewrites. And being the professionals that they are, they're not speaking to me anymore. But being the professionals that they are, they will do it. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You may approach Ms. Noel Capili to facilitate the interviews also with any of the cast members you would like to ask questions from. But while the writer and the director are here, better ask your
Cast.
or the cast. Do not be shy. Kanina somebody raised her hand very early.
Same question.
Same question. Any? Ay, walang. Yeah.
Sige, sige.
Yeah, okay. Different.
Similar. Since it's a more public venue than a campus theater venue, is that going to inspire also some of the changes in the show?
Just to correct maybe from where we're coming from, Dulang UP, the UP Playwrights Theater has always been for us a very public venue. And one of the things we liked about the run of this play, as Miss Mitch had said, you had, and as Tita Cindy had said, you had people from Makati coming, you had people who normally wouldn't come all the way to Diliman coming to watch the show. And it's always nice to know that we're able to now take it out. But in terms of considering which is a public space and what can be said where, we've always considered the UP fair ground to say anything.
Yes. Actually, what I incited is that I didn't know anything about it until I started reading posts from people who saw it. So you can call it spread of mouth. Anything else? Any more questions? Yes.
Hi, good evening. Congratulations, everyone. I'm Jude from Broadway World. I'd like to address my question to Ms. Charmaine. Prior to assuming the role in the first run, what is your understanding of the role? And now that you're doing it in the rerun, how deep is your understanding of Adela?
It's the same role, yes, the same lines. The difference is that I have aged a year. And I now am a real Lola. So that has changed my interpretation. Even Floyd pointed it out in one of the rehearsals. Somehow, the experiences, of course, of the actors, just like what Adela said, life makes you an artist and life happens. And it will certainly color your interpretation. So it's the same for me. So for those who have seen it before, come again, because it's not entirely different, but it's certainly richer and more nuanced and better.
Hi, Literature from Ano to Life. First, ang tanong ko lang pa, sino po yung, since this is a rerun, sino po yung mga bagong cast na first time maging part ng production?
Well, we're very blessed to have three wonderful new actors. The previous actors who created the roles, in all fairness, no, may Teroy Guzman, Khalil Almonte, and Farley Asuncion, all had previous commitments, so they weren't able to join. But we're very, very lucky to have Gab Pagamigan, who is a two-time NAMSI awardee. Ang description sa kanya, wala siyang contest na sinasalihan na natatalo siya. And this is his acting debut, and I hope he's enjoying it. Of course, we have Poo Gabonado, who, like we said earlier, who has been on a roll. His work as Eman in Ang Huling Bimbo has garnered him rave reviews. And previous to that, Mula sa Buwan, where he played Cyrano. And then, of course, not that they're happily, wonderfully married together, but it's always nice to see Mr. Noni Buencamino with Miss Shamin. He's always been very, very supportive ever since the first round, watching over rehearsals, picking up his wife. So we said, why not? Let's do it.
Why not? Like to say yes. Or just, yeah, I still bring her to rehearsals. No, but but this time I'm preoccupied with memorizing my lines. So I'm very happy to be with the cast. I'm enjoying myself, and a bit nervous about the long lines, but excited at the same time.
Next question ko lang po. What can you say about the appreciation of Filipinos for Kundiman, since this is also a very kind of rare na rin, kasi you never see Kundiman on mainstream media naman.
Rika, you might
yes, it is quite challenging for us to be using the Kundiman now because, as you said, with the influx of popular music, not only Filipino popular music, but also the foreign popular music. The audience now, especially the young ones, are not very familiar with the sound. But the thing is, with the Kundiman kasi is really, it started as an extemporaneous singing, no? And then it eventually evolved. That was in the 1800s, no? And then, 1800s. And then eventually it evolved into the love, and it has always been about love, but it has evolved into other aspects, like not just about love, but also about patriotism, love for the country, for religious devotion, and also love for the family. And it has always been parang a community song. The precursor is the Kumintang, which Mutya ng Pasig is. So Kumintang is a war song, war dance song. So that's the precursor of Kundiman. And then the other kinds of Kundiman, the lullabies, you perform them, you sing them for social functions, like for you're making hele, but when you're cradling a baby to sleep, and then when you're singing a Kundiman for a religious Kundiman, you sing it for praise. So it's very inclusive of everyone, not just of the person singing, and not just for one person dedicated to whom you're dedicating it to. So Kundiman actually is an expression of devotion, of deep devotion for anything, even for an ideal. That's why patriotism comes in. So that aspect of Kundiman will attract our audiences. That's why it is still relevant until now. And even until now, even during rallies, when we're calling for something, we go sing bayan ko. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows Bayan Ko, familiar with Bayan Ko. So, yeah, Kundiman is still very much alive, even if unconsciously we don't know, but we use it always. When there's an urgent need to express devotion, we always use Kundiman.
Thank you very
I
much.
hope I answered your question.
Anyway, I've always said that this was the best play of the year. Does this make you eligible for Gawad Buhay this year now that it's being produced by PETA? Hindi po. Ano, why?
Let's ask her.
Oo, kasi Melvin, patapwede daw sabi ni Melvin.
Okay.
So yun, sana pasuportahan mo natin kasi,
Thank you.
well, they have to be recognized as the best play.
Thank you. Yeah, you said
Anyway, I want to talk to the three new people, the actors, batchmate Noli Camino. Malaki yung challenge ng isang relevant play na katulad nito. Kasi may tama sa totoong buhay, may tama sa iyo sa totoong buhay. So, I want to ask, ano yung challenge ito sa buhay mo at sa posisyon mo dun sa nangyayari sa lipunan? Go, Noli, kaya mo yan. Ang dami nating Philo at POR.
Classmate naman eh.
Kaya mo yan. Kaya mo yan. Oh, okay.
Hindi pa nagbe-beer.
No, di kasi,
Pero ang challenge sa akin, ang challenge ko is to make the senator, I'm trying to portray him as a human being, a person who is sincere with about his love for family and his love for country.
Okay.
And except of course he's a senator, and there is I have a belief that when you are in politics, there are many compromises that a person has to make. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in politics at all. So that is my challenge. My challenge is to make the character whole, human, organic, as they say.
So, iboboto mo ba yung senador na ikaw na pinoportray mo?
Siyempre.
Okay, dahil...
Iboboto ko yung sarili ko.
So you'll make it more human. So that's a challenge.
Yes, yeah. I'm looking for nuances. I'm looking for as we work on it with Boo, and then we have to. Yeah,
Very good, very good.
it's a partnership. We're a team, so we have to work
Okay.
on our scenes.
Gab, you're coming after Farley, who was so hilarious in the first staging. How will you do it this time?
Well, iba si Kuya Farley. Nakakatawa talaga siya. Pero sinusubukan kong gawing nakakatawa rin yung character. Pero Gabi pa rin. Pero Ludwig din. Sabi nga ni Kuya Farley, nag-usap kami after nung first rehearsal ko with the cast and Direct Floyd and Direct Dexter. Sabi niya, wala akong doubt sa'yo, Gabi, na kaya mong gawin yung role kasi alam kong Ludwig ka din. So, ayun.
Anong ibig sabihin ng loaded yun?
Ayun, medyo dinidiscover ko pa rin po kung ano ibig sabihin niya. Kasi
Ganda.
first time kong nasa ganitong production.
Galing. Congrats. Bu, napanood kita sa Mula sa Buwan. Ang galing-galing mo doon. At yun nga, nasa huling El Bimbo ka. Iba yung hamon dito sa role na to kasi mas challenging lalo na sa'yo. Do you believe in the politics of this whole play?
When I first watched the Biban Party last year, it was something, I watched it with my friends. So, alam mo yun, it was something that really spoke volumes to me in terms of understanding the political climate, understanding, inviting people to look into themselves as Filipinos and as human beings. And I think that was what was so enticing when they asked me if I could do this role. It was because this material is so powerful and relevant up to today.
And it's so brave of you to have taken on this. Grabe. Well, have you asked your family whether, paalam ka muna bago mo gawin to? Have they seen it?
My family was not able to see this, but
They will see this one.
They will see this.
Okay,
They will see this. I did speak to my family about this. Just a background, I'm from a family that believes in different politics. And my father, my mother, both of them raised me to form my own beliefs and
Very good.
to stand up for them when the time comes.
That's
So
very brave.
I think this kind of opportunity seldom comes to artists, to performers, and I think there's no better time for me to do it but now.
I'm proud of you then. Congratulations. And we should also be proud of Rich Valdez. I'm surprised that she's here. She just lost her dad today, but she's doing this as a real trooper. Grabe. Grabe
Just
kami.
this morning. I'm in another country, so
Yes.
I might as well honor
something.
my father with by honoring this wonderful one.
Go, Konsehala, Kapitana.
Hindi po ako si Konsehala, ha? I'm just a talented actress. Who plays corruption to the hilt. Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? Okay.
So, PETA has been here for a while now, and I think theater is a good tool for mainstreaming intelligent conversations, right, around topics that are relevant. And I'm just wondering, like, why is it so hard, and why did this whole thing seem to indicate that we've become worse? I mean, since I was 8 years old, I've had a crush on Charmaine, but I didn't know that I was lesbian. I mean, I was young, and until now we're still doing this. We're still trying. We're still trying to, make theater a useful tool for good conversation, for intelligent conversation. Where are we really struggling? I just want to know.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's a very tough question, but it's good that you ask it because it invites, I think, dialogue from all of us. It invites some sort of introspection. When I first wrote the play, and before I go on with it, people have said you wrote the play, but it would never have happened without the nuances, the gifts, the things that the actors bring to it, including the rewrites. When I wrote this play, I was just feeling very worried about the country. I was just feeling very worried, that's all. I was just worried about where we were going, what was happening. And the division, the polarization that was happening in society, even among artists. And the play just came. And I think like I said earlier, what's important about it now is that when we were listening to the lines in the last reading, the first reading for this run, everything still seemed so fresh. It's exactly 1 year, and it's still what's going on. So, how does theater invite conversations? I guess I have no pretension of my work ever being a classic. That's never been my concern. I write, I think, for the here and now. And if this play says anything about our post-election scenario, and what we're facing in the future, then that's it. I'm glad enough that we have started some sort of conversation with the audience and some sort of introspection. I think that's the main purpose of our art. That's about it. I don't know.
I think Philippine theater is so much alive right now. You have all of those Broadway musicals. You have English plays. You have from the fun ones to the complex ones, to the minimal ones, to the experimental ones. And I think somebody has to do it. Then up to now, actually even before we're starting, parang merong article sa AmericanTheater.org. Parang when will American theater be revived again? Pero may magandang nakalagay doon na parang the theater is an art wherein what? It has been there all along, right? Laging sinasabi na mamamatay, right? But I think it's still here because, even 5th century BC, it's still here because the power to actually move things. It has the power to actually touch a lot of relevant themes. It has a lot of power, to move people. It has a lot of power, the basic form of just entertaining and making people laugh and cry. But then again, it has the power to disturb and to ask questions. And I think that's why you're here. That's why people are coming back, because the experience is so different. I'm not comparing it to other art forms, but I think it is alive because it's special. It is something that gives the audience a very, very special experience. You know, you may forget the title of the play. You may forget us after 5 years, the Tukundiman party, who performed it, or who wrote it or something. But I'm sure you have plays that you will never ever forget. Uy, itong palabas na to, natatandaan ko yung experience ko while I was watching it. And I think that's what makes you come back, right? That power. And up to now, we're here doing it. And it's a challenge for us. And the same reason, I mean, Ma'am Charmaine or Sir Noni, or I mean, all of these seasoned actors, they don't have to do theater. I mean, because, in terms of monetary and financial. But then again, I think they believe in the material. They believe in the power of the theater. They believe that they can use their art to say something. And I think that's a responsibility for every artist, that every time there's an opportunity that you say something new to the world. And we're given this material, we're given this collaboration, and we're given this platform, and we're given this space and this special time, especially for Philippine theater right now, which is very, very active. With your help and the power of social media, we can have something for everybody. So I think that's very, very important. That's why we're still here, and we're still here. Thank you.
May I add my 2 cents?
Yes.
Did I hear you right? You're asking where is the struggle? From our point of view, where is the struggle? The struggle is in getting audiences to come. I mean, here is an excellent bunch of artists. They're giving their hearts out to perform an excellent piece that can inspire and that has something urgent to say to audiences today. But where is the audience? They must come. They must dare to wade through the traffic, tell their lives, stop. I put things aside. I must make time, because watching theater is different than watching TV. Here in theater, you're part of a community. You get punched right in between the eyes. There's no other experience like that. And so that's the problem. Getting the audiences to please come and support Filipino talent at its best. So that's why I'm begging all of you here to please convince our Pinoy audiences to come and support. Such an important work, I think. Audiences are the problem. They must come, because it's such a high price that our artists are paying. Pero kung kulang ang manunood, sayang naman. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Can I also add my own 2 cents worth? More than anything, it's not about our talents or the fact that we're doing theater, even though we don't have to. I feel very special, and I'm sure this is shared by most of the cast. We really need to develop our love for our country. I don't know if it's because of our culture that we love our family so much. We love our family more than we love our country. We will do anything for our family, but not everything for our country. And that is why we are where we are. And it's so special that Floyd and Dexter and God and the universe gave us this chance. So, me personally, I had to ask myself while I was preparing for the role last year, how much do you love your country, Charmaine? What have you been doing? And so when Adela says, I should read more about my country, I should change the way I think, the way I look, I felt so guilty. Because really, as Charmaine, I don't think I have done a lot for my country. Not even a lot, not enough. Like, did I vote every time there were elections? Did I really look for the best leaders? Did I even, try to get to know them before voting? No, parang, okay lang, life goes on as long as I have, for most of us. So for you, it's not even inviting people to be here so that they can watch this magnificent play, but it's really about our country this time. We have to help each other love our country more and think about what's good for our country.
Good evening. I'm from ANC, Janko. I was just wondering, I don't know if you can answer this question, but how do we make Kundiman relevant to the OFWs. That's my concern after having spent some time abroad. Our younger generation of Filipinos growing outside of the Philippines. Because we talked about social media, and then there's this, you said earlier, different messages that the political climate of the Philippines is sending to the people outside of the Philippines. So how do we make it relevant to the young people? Thank you.
Well, as Rika's pointed out,
Sorry, can I add?
sorry.
Also, are you open to bringing this project abroad? Are you open to collaborations? Thank you.
You know, that's a question that's often asked after we premiere a play. Can we bring this over? Then when they learn the costs, suddenly no one speaks to us anymore. They're so excited, sending 10,000 emails. When we want to bring it on, and then this is what it's going to cost. And that's already very... Okay, going back to your question, I don't know if I'm right. But I think every time also that we listen to a Ray Valera song, to an Ogie Alcacid song, the strains of the Kundiman, that longing, that needing, that's directly traced, can be directly traced to the emotion of the Kundiman. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that sentimentality, maybe not so much what the Kundiman is as a 19th century, early 20th century form, but what it stands for nga, the way the Filipinos love, the way we're able to long for things and work for things and suffer and sacrifice for things. That's still in the Ray Valera, Ogie Alcacid mode. And then, of course, as Mika also pointed out, every time you sing Bayan Ko, or every time you sing Pilipinas Kung Mahal, that's a Kundiman right there that strikes at the deepest core of us.
There are a lot of groups who go abroad, Filipino groups who go, I think almost every year, to perform. Apart from the choral groups, we also have, I remember in the 70s, 80s, that group of Professor El Mumakil, Fides, Cuyugan Asensio, Franques, and they would go abroad, and that has been, that's still happening until now. Almost every year, there's a Filipino performing group that goes abroad to the US most of the time, and to perform Filipino music, traditional and up to the current. So I just don't know. It's so hard because the budget, of course, and it depends on the sponsors. And I also know that a lot of our graduates, conservatory graduates here who are now studying, who are now professionals working abroad, in their concerts they still perform Filipino. They make it a point to add Filipino music into their repertoire whenever they have concerts. So there are attempts, there are efforts. So thank you. Yes.
Anyone can answer. Since social media was mentioned, how do you deal with trolls? And how do you deal with fellow artists who don't agree with your views?
Let's ask the tita.
I don't deal with I don't have trolls. In real life, well, I'm the kind kasi who doesn't, that's not what I do best. Social media is not what I do best. This is what I do best. So I will just try to do what I can. Like fighting on social media will not help my country in any way. It will not improve our situation. So I'd rather not. Kill them na lang with kindness. Maybe that's me, huh? Kill them with kindness. And forgive them, for they know not what they do. Must I go on? Okay, cool. Ano yung tanong? How do you deal with trolls?
Fellow artists.
Or those who don't share sentiments. I think we really have to respect our differences in opinion. Democratic country tayo eh. Kailangan yan eh. Kaya nga tayo, demokrasya Kailangan malatag lahat and then iiwan mo pa rin yun sa tao kung saan siya papanig. For you to feed kung ano dapat paniwalaan niya. Where's the democracy in that? So, ang hirap mag-judge na dapat dito tayo, dapat dito tayo. Eh di intindihin mo kung bakit hindi siya agree sa'yo. And then, tsaka analyze where you stand. Now, if you don't agree, we still have to maintain respect for each other. Hindi pwede yung bastusan na nangyayari sa nangyayari, di ba? Pero ganun talaga. I think eventually and hopefully, no, we will come to a compromise kung saan tayo talaga magkakaisa para sa bansa natin. But until then, we deal with this. So, hahanapin natin yung tamang timpla, tamang balanse. Ganun talaga. Ang tagal nating nasakop ng kung sino-sinong bansa So, kaya din siguro, importante that we revisit our history. Kaya din siguro tayo nagtatanong kung saan tayo papunta because, yun nga, yung mga millennial nga, hindi nakilala yung kundiman, di ba? So, I think, ganon, makinig tayo, mag-aral tayo, and then patuloy nating isipin kung ano ba talaga, what's good for all, na bawasan yung selfishness. Yun.
For trolls, ignore because we know naman the actual motivation of why they do what they're doing. So they're not out to communicate. And I think social media and messenger is great to coordinate meetings, but it's not a great tool for actual communication. It's very manipulative, a lot of clickbait. So it really takes a one-on-one conversation. I've been fortunate enough to have conversations with people I didn't agree with politically. And after I had the conversation, it's just parang you find each other and it's like, dude, I love you pala as a person. And that's where you're coming from pala. And I didn't know that's agree to disagree. Just have to. That's why theater is great because I think it spurs actual communication, like really actually talking and connecting with someone. Even though it's a slow process, but it's really very effective to be able to communicate and understand and actually listen to someone. And I think that's the only way. It'll be a slow process, but that's the only way we will unite this country.
I have an opinion.
Okay, of course.
I'm friend. my social media is not a democracy. If your opinions differ from mine, I have no time for you because I know I will not convince you naman. Like Jenny said, they have their own already. So, but when you see each other in person, the friends, you still remain friends because you don't hear what you don't like to hear from them. It's so easy to unfriend. And your life will be very simple.
Yeah, I just blocked someone who spoiled the latest episode of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Next question.
Nag-negate yun.
Okay, hi, I'm Cheska from Art Plus Magazine. My question is about the millennials' woke culture. Okay, as we mentioned earlier, Kundiman Party is very relevant at this moment. And millennials have this term woke culture, meaning the millennials' perceived awareness of issues concerning politics and social injustice. Basically, the things that you see millennials post in social media about this kind of relevant things, relevant issues that we have now. My question is, how do you relate the woke culture to the values in Kundiman Party? That's my first question.
Millennials, go.
Are you woke?
Do you relate the woke culture
To Kundiman Party.
Maybe frame it from the character.
where you're coming from and how your characters discovered.
That's why they're the directors.
Sorry po. No. Go ahead, sir. Wait to answer the question.
As Antoinette, kasi it came from Bobby eh. Si Antoinette kasi is never siya naka-attend ng rally, but because of Bobby, she did. And then Hook, Antoinette. Yes, ayun, but si Antoinette naman po ay sinusuportahan naman niya yung si Bobby, and then she has her own beliefs also, and then with Maestra and the Titas, yes.
Hello, ayun. Well, for Bobby, I think Bobby would be the kind of person to be relating to these people who are woke on Twitter, woke on social media. He's definitely that kind of person. To relate it to Condiman Party, the values presented in Condiman Party, I think, yeah, that's what Bobby represents. It's the kind of person who is woke. But at the end of the day, what do you do dun sa pagiging woke mo? Will you actually do something about it? Will you just continue to rant on social media and bloister na, woke ako, pero at the end of the day, wala kang gagawin. So, yun, if you're gonna relate this to the values of the Condiman Party, I hope a lot of people, woke people and non-woke people, millennials, everyone, I hope they get to watch it. Kasi I hope they get to see, and they get to introspect on ano ba talaga yung dapat kong gawin bilang Pilipino. Yun.
Yes, and add to that, parang yung, since yung mga woke sa social media, at the end of the day, kung maingay sila sa social media, I mean, ano nga bang nagagawa nila para sa bayan outside those, that social media? I mean, kung woke ako sa social media, ano bang ginagawa ko outside internet, social media? I mean, may pakialam ba talaga ako? Or magaling lang akong maging keyboard warrior?
I think I understand why you're asking a question, because you didn't see this play last year, right? Yeah. You have to watch the play, this is the whole premise of it.
The play, yeah.
Oh,
This is the whole.
it's that. Your question, this is it.
That's the whole
That's
play.
the whole play. How do we?
Just in case, for those of you who haven't seen it,
just a quick synopsis. The play is about Maestra Adela. Maestra Adela is a retired opera singer who turned her back on an international career to fight in the 1986 revolution. After which she decided, because of delicadeza, to turn her back on her public career and to just teach students. One of her the titas visit her so often. They just love opera. Her matatandang kerengke. Her latest student is Antoinette. And Antoinette brings into this rather protected Bourgeois circle the young Bobby, who's a social activist, and who also turns out to be the son of a senator. So that whole dynamic of being woke and finding the sensitivity of an older generation, of simply being just woke, that's the whole premise of Bobby's, and the play, that's what it's about. It bridges the gap between the millennials, their sense of wokeness, and what you might call a nobler, quieter, more human sense of being committed. There's a beautiful line from the play. You rant about the government, Charmaine? Would you like you rant? Pina-perform na yung play, no? Sorry po, Sorry po. Okay, Bobby, you wanna do the
The scene?
So why do you So why Kundiman? Why do you teach it?
Why Kundiman? Why teach it?
He says it's Bobby, and she says,
what's my first?
Because
even if you feel it is luma, matinis, irrelevant, I believe that it can make you a better person, braver, nobler. You go to all the rallies you want. You curse the government, demand for change, but unless it is here in your heart, ...
So that's the whole crux of the play. It's a very interesting question because that's really what the whole play is about. A lot of people
have read the play as a very political play, as it is in many ways, but it's also, I think, meditation on how our generations are so torn apart and how The older generation needs to learn how to adapt to social media, while the younger generation needs to get the humanism to balance the wokeness. Ayun. Manood na lang kayo. Unless I ask them to perform another scene. Pero okay na.
Thank you so much. Amazing.
Thank you.
Last question. Do you think woke is the new activism?
Is woke the... Kayo!
Just yes or
Ayun.
no? Or
Who? Is woke the new
At least not
activism?
recite the full thing.
Unless you do something about it, then you're not woke.
Yeah.
Correct. Eh.
So woke is just another term for
Noise.
an identity, and then if you don't involve yourself in establishing or working for some upgrading change, then you're not woke. You're just a fad.
Aray.
No?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations in advance sa rerun. For the returning cast, seeing this last year, pressure po ba sa inyo to na that it's gonna be happening again? Is it the pressure for Miss Frances, Stella, Jim, Pia, and Miss Rika, and Miss Charmaine for, kasi you will be guiding the new ones, diba? So, is it like a double pressure ba sa inyo, or parang wala, you just be having fun?
It's such a pleasure, not a pressure. I mean, with these very, very talented actors and pianists, actor now, we have nothing to worry about. Diba? Kayo, pressure ba?
It's actually wonderful when there are new elements in the play brought by these three new actors, these three men. Kasi even our interpretations, they change a little because we were reacting to them. So I can really say that the play will be different from what you saw last year, from what the audience saw last year.
At saka I think when you do a rerun and then you revisit your material, you find new trigger words, trigger phrases that strike you differently because a year has passed. So, pag binato mo, parang iba na yung pinanguhugutan niya this time than last year. So, maraming mga ganon. And then, yun nga, marami pang ibang mga bagong stimulus. So, exciting siya. Parang it's a different rhythm now. Yun nga, sinabi mo, same but different. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to, unless we have any other questions, it is time to ika nga, put together the cast.